Alrighty. I think that is now go. Are we good? I think we're good. It says that I'm live. Hopefully I am. Right, that should be playing that. I'm not sure if it is, but we'll have a look. Right, let me check. Jesus. Oh Jesus, that is loud. Right, that should be good. Right, let me listen to the stream. Oh! 1 minute, 1 minute. Right, get if you enjoy this stream, get the likes up, because this is going to be a fun one. Right, are we ready for the big reveal? Are we ready for the big reveal? Oh, right, 1 minute. Here we go. Make it full screen for this. Right. 3, 2, 1. Way! Oh God! Christmas hat is on. The Christmas hat is acquired. Way! Hello everyone! Alright, I'll make it regular size again. Oh God. There we go. Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to Future Vibes in the chat. It was also Liam's birthday yesterday. I know he watches a few of my streams, so hello to you! Get the likes up on the stream for the Christmas hat if you enjoy. And let me know how loud the music is as well. Hopefully it's not too loud. Please do let me know though if it is a little bit wrong. But right, we're on with it. We're on with it. Right, I'm going to turn the music off now because it's annoying me. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. You're 102. Oh. Right, let me make that a bit smaller. Sorry about this, everyone. I just wanted to have a bit of fun to start with. So yeah, I've pulled the Christmas hat out of the bag. Bit of fun in it. Bit of fun. Because why not, you know? Why not? But yes, here we are. Here we are on this amazing live stream. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Hope you're all good. Hope you're all safe and well and enjoying the run up to Christmas. Only 13 days away. It's the 12th of the 12th. The elf on the shelf. Right, let me do that. 1 minute, everyone. Just sorting things out. Let me just do that. And then we'll delete that. Is that the right? There we go. Right, we've got it sorted. Look at that. Perfect. See? Nothing, no unorganisation, no disorganisation at all. Perfect stream, right? Right, let's go. So, I'm going to pull up the chat so I can read the messages. We've got 11 people in here already. Thanks so much for joining. With 4 likes on stream. Make sure you get the likes if you enjoy my content. Now, what the hell have I done? I want pop-out chat. There we go. What the hell am I watching? Right. So, we're going to start. Hope everybody knows this winter, let alone Christmas. A lot of the operation one's been going colder. Don't let the cat out the bag, learners. We've got to do it on the stream. Come on, right. I've got the stream up. So, we're going to start off with everyone's favourite run, the UK Met Office. Now, I know, learners, the runs have been very exciting today. Love the hat, thank you. Right. We're going to start with... No problem. We're going to start with the UK Met Office run. So, from the outset, we're kind of sitting under an area of high pressure, as you can see here. Do we want the music or do we not want the music? I'll put it on quietly if we do. I just want to make it a bit more crisp, but if it sounds lame, then we'll get rid of it. So we've got high pressure over the top of the country. It's not been very warm. It's 6.4 degrees right now as I'm recording this here. We've got low pressure towards Iceland, and it's kind of just quite settled and feeling a bit chilly. The air masses aren't particularly cold, but as you can see from the 2 metre temperatures when they load, there we go. It's been about 6-7 degrees, so not exactly anything spectacular. What have I done? What the hell have I done? Right, so as we continue through into Friday, there's a little bit of a ridge. It brings down slightly northwesterly, so it might feel a bit colder tomorrow with the -5 line pushing through. Not anything obviously windy or anything, but we'll feel a little bit cold with the wind chill. As we go Saturday into Sunday, the weekend looks actually quite pleasant. I'm having too much fun with the Christmas hat. So first of all, I couldn't help myself, so I want the music, gives the better vibe. Okay, go on then. Right, I'll put it on quiet. Is that too loud, or is that alright? Can you hear it from here? Is that good? On a little bit? Right, let's go. So, over Saturday and Sunday, the high pressure builds over and just to the south of the country, bringing in quite a mild westerly. As you can see there, the winds are actually originating from close to Spain, so from the southwest. Come on, internet, thank you. With some quite mild air masses moving up. Definitely the weekend looks doesn't too bad. Temperatures could get into the teens with that. The southerly southwesterly winds continue until Tuesday into Wednesday, where it gets very mild. Low pressure out to the west, and high pressure out to the east, bringing up a very mild southwesterly with even warmer air masses wafting up. So definitely getting the temperatures into at least the double digits before eventually the Atlantic winds out and the westerlies actually start returning. Now, what I will say is these westerlies aren't exactly mild, and as you can see, there are signs. I don't know if you can see here, but this is the jet stream, and it is actually still to our south. This is kind of the area of the jet stream. As you can see, at this point, it's probably quite close to the UK. But a lot of the runs have been powering up the high pressure and kind of moving it further northwards. Not exactly any big ridging or towards Greenland or anything like that, but just slight ridging in the Atlantic, which has allowed these winds to originate from a cooler source. Now, as you can see here, you might think that this chart, look, high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, northwesterly sort of airflow would be quite mild, but it's not exactly mild. It is, you know, quite windy and wet, but not snow. I didn't want that one. But the temperatures aren't exactly anything special. They're kind of around average. There's not really much to say about that one, is there? It's not exactly mild. No problem. So next we'll take a look at the icon. Oops, that's just skipped to the end, but you got the general picture. Again, very similar for the next few days with that high pressure and over the top of the country. Exactly. Again, very mild Sunday to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All looks very mild. Could get the temps quite high in the south. And then we're back into a westerly. But you can see, look how powerful the PV is, or the polar vortex is, to our north, bringing in continuous low pressures from the west. Again, not exactly mild, not exactly anything to write home about, but it's not exactly spectacular, is it? At this stage, anyway, it just kind of looks like a typical UK pattern of winds from the west. So, what do things show in the more interesting time frame? Shall we have a look then? Right, go on then. So we're going to start with the GEM, right? I'm waiting for the ECM to finish, and I think it has just finished. But we'll check out the GEM first. This is the Canadian model that runs out to day 10. Obviously, we're going to save the GFS till last, because that could be the most exciting run. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Have to wait and see. So again, very similar for the next few days. Not much to say about that, really. Could just be quite mild. Then low pressure begins to break through from the Atlantic around Wednesday into Thursday, bringing very unsettled weather there. Quite stormy, especially in the north there, with milder air masses wrapped underneath it. And then as the low moves out to the east, we bring down a colder northerly. Not much to write home about, really. It's just kind of a northerly which brings cold air into Scotland and northern England for a time around day 8. Before a ridge builds over the country, so dry and cold on the Saturday, the 21st, before low pressure begins to head in again. However, something very interesting the GM starts doing is dipping the jet stream further southwards. As you can see, it's going down in towards Spain, taking the low pressures on a further southerly track, which could allow high pressure to have a better chance at building, because as you can see here around Greenland, there's still low pressure around, but it's weaker low pressure than there was at the beginning of the run. This is the GM at the start of the run. No, that's not a very good example. This is the GM at 4 days time. See how powerful it is at the to our north. But then as we go to now, or what it's showing today, the low pressures have been shifted away. So therefore it looks a little bit more interesting there, doesn't it? Damn, that's a lot of cold air to our north already. Yeah, exactly. It looks quite interesting. Am I too low down? I feel like I'm in the ground. Oh, dearie me. Remember to leave a like on the stream, guys. See, there's 17 of you in here. Thank you all so much for joining. Don't like to like beg. I'm one of them people, but just if you enjoy the content, then consider it. Right, we're having a look at the ECM. Now, this has been quite... well, I mean, apart from that 12Z Northerly I showed off in that video a few days, which you all seem to like, it's not really shown too much promise. If you're wondering what cup of tea it is, it's delicious. That's all I'm saying. I actually don't know what brand it is today. My apologies. There's that my very mild southerly though through Tuesday into Wednesday with that low pressure to the west, high pressure to the east. Look at the heights building to our east towards France there. 10-degree ice, and that's ridiculous. Look at the air masses. I know it's taking a while to load, and I do apologise. I'll try and fix it. Come on! What's going on? So slow. What's happening? Have you got a budget? Yes, I have, I'm afraid. No, he's great. I don't think the temperature and he's brilliant. I'll tell you what, he's brilliant. He adds some excitement to the video, I'm telling you. That's what you all see. He gets the comments about, and then I get more interactions. Anyway, Wednesday, Tuesday into Wednesday. The main point is there's some very mild air moving up from the southwest. Could get the upper teens. Oh, the mid-teen Celsius with that one, up to maybe 14, 15 degrees. But then let's see what happens. I haven't looked at this yet, so I don't know what happens. So then the Atlantic breaks through around Wednesday into Thursday. Could be some very wet, windy weather in the north of Scotland. Winds turn more into the northwest as that low pressure starts to move east. Nothing much to say about that really. It just looks very zonal, not cold or anything like that. A little bit more of a ridge there. Winds turn into more of a northwesterly, however, looks quite transient and not long lasting at all because we've got a very weak ridge before that low pressure looks like it's about to topple the high and break it down very quickly. Let's see what happens then. So yeah, oops. There's some very mild, well, not mild air, not exactly cold air moving in though. And again, that pattern seems to just repeat itself. Let's have a look at there. There's not exactly any cold air. It's all restricted to far north. But that day 10 looks like the Westies are going to return, and it looks very unsettled. Nothing much cold really. Again though, that low pressure begins to dip south on a southerly track in the extended range, and then heights begin to weaken. This looks a little bit more interesting right at the end of the run again, so not great. Roll on the snow, hate anything near 20. Yeah. As you can see though, at the very end, the low pressure kind of retreats to our east and also to the western side of Greenland, so the Canadian side, and high pressure begins to build or starts to retrogress or move northwards towards Greenland. Now, you wouldn't know if that low would topple the high at this stage, but it does look like... What just happened? What just happened? But it does look like... Oh, I can show this anyway. The high is going to build towards Greenland at the very end because the low pressures have moved away to the east and the west. And there we go. Would start opening the floodgates to some quite cold northerlies. Look at the cold air now to the north at this point. But again, Christmas... Where's the cold? Right, let's look on Christmas Day. Let's see. So on Christmas Day... what are the upper air temps? So, very mild in the south. Like, look at that. That is ridiculous. Very mild in the south at this point. Bro, the cold's always before or after. Yeah, I know. Had a budgie called Wendy. Nice. Right. This is the run we're all praying shows something good. And then we'll have a look at the ensembles as well. See what they're showing. We'll look at each run. See if there's any sort of trend after this. So, let's see what the GFS is showing. So Tuesday it brings in some very unsettled and stormy weather through Wednesday into Thursday. But look at that dartboard low over Scotland. Could be another named storm, that, to be honest. Come on, internet, load. Thank you. 960 millibars at the centre of that one. That would produce winds very strong for northern Scotland. We do not want to be seeing that. Not at all after the previous storm we've just had, which brought some disruption. So let's see then. So as that low clears to the east, we bring down a little bit more of a colder northerly, but the lows keep rattling in from off the Atlantic. There's too much energy, so that brief northerly is not going to be anything cold at all. In fact, it's more of a northwesterly, and yeah, not exactly bringing anything cold. Stays away. Mild sector moves in as another band of weakening area of low pressure. Excuse me, moves away, and by day 10, wow, look at that. Look at all this unsettled weather. However, as you can see, the air from this westerly, which is coming at just after day 10, is originating from slightly colder source. It's actually originating from the south of Greenland. So this would actually bring in some more colder air. The -5 line actually moves in. So that could actually bring the risk of snow. Obviously, it won't be anything major or significant, but it could bring a little bit of snow, if probably turning back to rain. Obviously, that is very, very unlikely because of the positioning. But as you can see... the jet stream begins to sink further southwards with the GFS, and actually, at the very end, you can see the cold air is beginning to move as the low pressure moves away to our east. Thank you. As the low pressure moves away to our east, we start to bring down a cold northerly. And as you can see, the air's retreated at this point. Before, in comes the northerly winds. Now, this is Christmas Day, and look at that. It doesn't look very cold at all, really, at this point. But as you can see, winds are in from the north. We've got a weak area of I think that's the Azores high down there, which is obviously the thing which brings all the mild air during the summer. Now, we've got high pressure beginning to ridge out in the Atlantic, not up towards Greenland because there's too much energy to the western side. However, it is enough to bring down a colder northerly. So this is slightly more interesting. And as you can see, the -5 line does, on the 26th, just after Christmas, brings down a pretty cold northerly, to be honest. Definitely would be enough for snow showers in the north and the east for a time. You see the little elongation in the isobars there, indicating little features are possible. The -5 line does cover the whole country, though, for a time. Obviously, it won't last very long because there's not exactly a significant block. And then the low pressure returns. But it would be something slightly more interesting. So the GFS is not as interesting as previous runs, but it does bring a little bit more cold in. My uncle owns a budget. Nice. They're brilliant, aren't they? I think they're great. Right, we've got 25 of you in here with 8 likes on stream. Get the like. Can we get 15 likes on this stream? Greatly appreciate it. And if you are new around here, drop us a sub. Why not? Helps out the channel a lot. If you enjoy the content. See, after the cold air begins to retreat, there could actually be a transient snow event, obviously depending on air masses, but who cares at this range? It's so far away, it's not worth considering. Now, I think what we should do, just for a bit of fun, is have a look at the CFS. Oh, I'm gonna get some haters now. Oh, it's showing the CFS. Oh no. Gonna bring all the mild air back. Oh no. Right, let's see. Right, come on CFS, be good please. So it looks very unsettled. Actually looks way different to all the other runs at day 10. Tries to build a high towards Scandinavia. That's Christmas. Well, that's Christmas Day there. Tries to build a Scandinavian high and does successfully. So that's actually a relatively average Christmas. Nothing much to talk about there, is there? Oh. One of my uncle's budgets escaped. Wow. That is awful. That is not a good run. Does it show anything after that? No. No. Just CFS can't forecast snow. Just westerly. Oh my word. Then it builds heights over the top of the country, brings the Atlantic in, and oh my goodness me. Right, we're not looking at that anymore. Unless you want that, of course, which I hope none of you do, alright? I hope none of you do. Right. So we're going to take a look at each of the runs. So this is the average. So, as you can see, a lot of the runs are going... This is the average from GFS, or the American Models Ensembles, compiling all 32 together. Can we get some comments about the Christmas hat? It's all ifs and buts. Of course it is at this range. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Come on, we're gotta get in the Christmas spirit, bringing these chats to you. So there's that brief westerly northwesterly tilt at the 20th of December, which could bring a little bit of a cooler interlude. So what they're showing around Christmas, well, let's see what the average shows. Then we'll bring you to the other ends. So it actually doesn't show much. It shows the polar vortex being quite strong and a typical westerly flow. Obviously, it's balancing out so many runs, and it actually shows a little bit milder in the south. But this is subject to change. If we have a look at the GFS ensembles for Birmingham, so looking at every single run, then you can see that, if I bring it all into frame, there you go, then it is quite mild, as you can see here, with temperatures getting up to 5 degrees at the 850 HPA point. A little bit of a cooler snap over the weekend. Not going to amount to much, though, I wouldn't think. But then, as you can see, from around 180 hours, a lot of the runs are indicating it is going to drop cooler. Or some of them keep it mild, but most of them are actually dropping it cooler. So the mean drops below the average. Probably turning back, and look, when we get to Christmas, it's above average. Look at that. The only part of the run after the heat spike, you could say, it's not exactly mild though. After the heat spike at the 18th, it's going to drop away. Maybe a cold snap or cool snap before it returns back to average around Christmas. That is balancing a lot of runs. There's a lot of scatter in there. There's a lot of milder runs and there's a lot of colder runs as well. Not exactly particularly bitterly cold, as the GFS was showing before. Let's see if we can see the GFS. Look at that on the 6 edge. Should we show you the 6 edge? It got down to -11. Ugh, that is freezing. That is freezing. Yeah. Will this low cloud ever go away? Did the video stop? What happened? Target audience, weather fans. Active audience, yeah, I agree. That's what we want. No. No. But yeah, should we show you the GFS 6 set? It actually brought the coldest run on the ensemble and around the 26th of Boxing Day. And Christmas looks quite cold as well. Go on then. Right, this is probably not going to happen. This was the GFS 6 set. So obviously not very interesting in the next couple of days. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm just suffering. The cup of tea. Again, brings down that colder air, the -5 line on the 20th, with the bit more potent with that, with the GFS 6 said. And then as we go along back into that westerly, but then high pressure begins to move a little bit further westwards, and we bring down a colder northerly. Look at that on the 25th. Low pressure could bring a snow event to the southwest. Definitely not going to happen. But on Christmas Day, we're all in cold air with high pressure out to the west, and that is a cold Christmas. And then by Boxing Day, it actually turns very cold with the -10 line moving in, which that doesn't often make an appearance in the UK, does it? My mouse has stopped working. There's the -10 line. Wow, look at that. That's what I would see. That is what I would qualify as a bitterly cold air mass. The -10 line moving down. I mean, what do you think? I'd say that counts as bitterly cold. And it gets through the whole country, to be fair, so definitely there'll be that snow showers are possible pretty much anywhere before it reverts back, of course, but it won't last very long. Even at that point, at the very end, it's not exactly mild. Look at all that cold air to our west. I mean, our east, which has transferred away. It's not out of the question, though. This is what I'm trying to say for a cold Christmas at all. It is not out of the question at all. So now we're going to run through each of the, which is the most accurate model. CFS! Yeah, exactly. Why did my voice go like that? Damn, I've never felt my voice go like that before. Right, so we're going to go through each of the runs and see what they're showing for the Christmas period. How does that sound? Right, so we're going to go to the about the 22nd, 23rd. So let's see what is the runs showing. So the control actually looks quite interesting with low pressure sinking southwards around Christmas Eve. That is a very deep area of low pressure. Wrapped in some colder air though. Never mind, wouldn't be cold enough for snow without that. But then by the 25th, as that low pressure sinks southwards, brings down a northeasterly. Eventually not very much cold air around though, because of the previous winds moving in. But that is sort of interesting. Look, then it builds a Scandinavian high at the end of the run, which would be interesting. And look at the cold air returning by the very end. Looks a little bit more interesting at the very end of the run. Now, we're going to run it from day 10 because we're all interested in Christmas, aren't we? So, run 1, PO1, or ensemble number 1, builds a high pressure out to the west very briefly, bringing in a colder air mass from the north-northeast. Bit of cold air wrapped in with that around Christmas. Christmas Day itself, well, it's not too bad for coldies. It's not exactly cold, it's not exactly mild. And again, we're under a high pressure, so it's quite dry. Not much to say there. Wouldn't feel particularly mild. It probably just feels seasonal, to be honest. That low sinking southwards is quite interesting, but the high is just not strong enough, really. Well, it is strong enough, but it just weakens too quickly. Run number 2, then. Let's see what that shows. Well, that is at the offset. It's actually showing something a little bit cooler before then. Charge on a load. Yeah. Shows a little bit of that brief cooler snap. I just noticed that. Day 10, though, goes into a very mild southwesterly at that point, westerly. Before it eventually turns the wind as the high pressure retreats to our west at the very end, bringing down some cold northerlies. Wow, look at that. Where's the PV gone there? It's shifted well away to our east. That would be you'd expect that to be quite prolonged, as there's not exactly any low pressures to be spotted near Greenland. The high pressure is starting to build in the Atlantic. Might topple by this low here. But that looks like a prolonged spell of cold weather, to be fair, or setting up anyway. With run number 2. Come on, internet. Ugh. Mick, I'm just... You comment on every single one of my videos. Remember that my channel, right, is just a bit of fun. So, I mean, it's something I love doing, right? I might not have a clue half the time, but it's just something I love doing. Like this stream is just a bit of fun, just to see what the models are showing. I don't know what it's going to be like in 13 days, but we just want to try and work out, and that's quite fun. Sometimes it's more fun to see what they're showing on the run up to Christmas, rather than the big day sometimes. Most of the time it's a collapse, and we've seen cold stuff happen before. The Daily Express! Oh, goodness me. The Daily Express, man. The Daily Express. Right, let me carry on. So, Ensemble member number 3 actually looks a little bit more interesting at day 10. For bringing in more northwesterlies. The high pressure is actually out in the Atlantic, a bit more there, allowing a northwest-southeast alignment, so they're actually bringing in some quite cold zonality. High pressure eventually builds out to the west slightly, but topples with this slight little low. As you can see here, this is what you call cold zonality, so the -5 line is in for much of the runs. This could be quite a snowy spell with that. Keeping the -5 line in, even over Christmas. Well, look at that. So the Ensemble run number 3, which is not reliable at all, is forecast a colder spell, actually. If you look there, it's actually quite dry, just as we get to Christmas, but there could be some snow on the ground from previous snowfalls with this airflow, and actually could be quite a few frosts in the southwest, with the lack of winds, lack of isobars. Ensemble member number 4, again, looks quite westerly. That low pressure's to our south, so the jet's taking it on a northeast-southeast alignment, so a bit of a cold snap after that. Doesn't exactly look anything spectacular. Actually brings the -C. So the -5 line actually could bring a snow event to the south there. Well, it's kind of southern central, but who cares at this range? Southern central Britain there, before that low clears away. So that could be quite a significant snow event. The -10 line actually moving in there. That just looks quite... Well, it looks quite mild, really. And then it goes cold. Well, it's mild, then it goes colder. So, a bit more interesting with that one. Must say, a lot of these ones have brought in cold at some point. Changes on the way, lovely. Thank you. The Daily Express literally... Very, very good. Yeah, exactly. That's brilliant. Right, let's carry on then. So, member number 4 is, as them lows clear to the east, brings down cooler air. But this low pressure is on a... Wow. That is very similar to what I've just looked at. Is that bringing the -5 line in? So it's already got the -5 line in at that point. Again, that low is wrapped in cold air, so that could be a snow event. Well, and then on the 25th, that could... Yeah, in fact, that looks like a snow event again. It looks very similar to Run 03. Is that the same run? I've just clicked on the same run again. I have no idea. Looks very similar, though. I think I've just clicked on the... I have. Oops, my bad. I looked at the same run twice. Well, you got a good look at that one, didn't you? The snow event in the south. Run number 5, if my mouse starts working, has high pressure over the top of the country. Not much interest there. Run number 6, so that one's a dud. Run number 6. Why do I keep making that go to the bottom? My bad. Ugh. Put it there. That looks better. Right, I'll have to sit up like this. Run number 6 actually, southerly track, sinks the jet southwards. Not very much interest though. Keeps the westerlies in. Northwesterly tilt at the end. Brief cold snap. Doesn't look very interesting. Run number 7. Slight ridge out in the Atlantic, brings some slightly cooler air on Christmas Eve. What the hell? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong bit. Brings some slightly cooler air on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day looks slightly cold, but again, I need to stop doing that. Actually, it does look a little bit cold on Christmas Day. That could be a little cold Christmas in the north. Maybe even as far south as the south. Before that ridge collapses in, and then it'll go back to westerly, you'd expect. Yeah. That one, it's okay. Run number 8 looks a little bit more interesting. Again, that high pressure retreats out to the west, brings down another cold northerly there on the on run number 8. So a few of these are showing a cold northerly. That one's actually a little bit colder at Christmas with a northwesterly in, and then after that, high pressure over the top of the country. 9 run shows a northerly at the start. Could be cold enough for a little winteriness in the north and the east. Before it goes more northwesterly around Christmas. This is sort of a trend within the GFS model runs that it will turn colder at some point anyway. Christmas Day looks like there's a ridge building, so dry, cold and frosty. I wouldn't expect it to be mild exactly anyway, and then if it turns very mild at 28th, but it's a long way off. Run number 10 has a colder northerly before it builds some high pressure out to the west and then builds over the top of the country at the very end, so that's a dud. Christmas Day looks like it could be a record-breaking one with winds from the southwest. Wow. Run number 11, oh dear, this is all fell apart. Looks westerly, in fact very westerly, until the very end actually, around the 25th of December, it turns the wind to the northwest. Brief northwesterly snap there. Too much energy in the Atlantic though to keep that going. Again, heights building out to the west at the very end, but a long way off. So, it's not looking great, is it, at this point? Number 12, showing a westerly, then turning into a brief northerly on Christmas Day. Here we go. By Christmas Day afternoon, though, the highs toppling now in, and back into the westerlies again. Oh dear. Run 13 actually shows a Scandinavian high trying to build. Topples that pretty quickly, as there's too much energy in the Atlantic, and keeps that quite westerly and not very interesting at all. Run 14 with the westerlies in again. Oh dear. Westerlies could be a trend in these models. 25th of December looks westerly, looks quite zonal and flat. Not much to say there. Again, at the very end, high pressures begin to move towards Greenland, and that's a little bit better, to be honest. Then it's a very good. Cheers. Cheers. What's a week? I know Spanish, but I'll let me have a read. Sent it when it came to quality. Thank you, Fuchsia. Oh, that's a funny one. Right, run 15. So they're kind of on the knife edge, really. They're not exactly great. Again, a lot of them are showing a westerly around 20 seconds. So that is definitely something to look out for. This could break everything. There's not really anything certain. 25th again. Oh dear, that is a mild southwesterly, so Christmas is a write-off. Let's have a look at run number 16. Actually has a little bit more of an interesting start, but then brings a very wet, windy and stormy spell for Christmas. Look at that dartboard low on Christmas. Not exactly cold either. It's a little bit of colder air wrapped in, but it's not exactly... Ooh, that's a little bit early. 25th actually brings in some milder air, as you'd expect, with that deep area of low pressure over the top of the country. Run number 17, westerly. Westerly. Oh no. Westerly. Oh no. Very mild southerly, southwesterly winds for a lot of that run. Run 18 shows a very strong Atlantic. Oh no. Stormy weather. Transferring through westerlies for the whole run. Oh dear, where's the cold gone? Run 19. Oh whoa. Hold up. We might have a good run here. Hold up. Hold up, wait a minute. We've got high pressure between Greenland and Scandinavia. That looks like a sustained block, and there's a battle going on. There's the easterly winds going up towards Iceland and through many parts of Western Europe, and there's low pressure away to our west. Now that is a battle, and that could produce a snow event on its boundary. Probably not at this point, but as you can look, there is a look at that cold air to our east. Northeast. Look at that bitterly cold air over just to our east, and let's see where that goes. Where does it go? What happens before then, actually? So the high builds from a little ridge in the Atlantic, which it forms, bringing in some colder air. Let's have a look. So let's see what happens after this then. So that high stays around, however, it seems to lose the battle. Then it retreats further eastwards, and then it's kind of over the top of the country. Well, it's kind of just to our northeast, but it's not strong enough because the Atlantic's so strong that it just kind of holds the easterlies. However, at the very end, that looks actually quite like breeze from the east, with some very cold air to our east trying to move in. As you can see at this point, though, It goes very mild for a time, before eventually, at the very end of the run, oh my word, in comes oh my word, there'll be some exciting titles with that one. And the 28th of December at the very end, obviously not going to happen. I'm sure some extremely cold air moving in from the east there. Wow, that's that I have not seen a chart like that in a few times, really. But you can just see, just starts from scanning eyes. That looks sustained to me. That looks like that would bring in an easterly. It's on the boundary there of bringing it in anyway. And at this point, it's already moving the cold air in. So that is the run of the day, I'd say, at the very end. But we're focusing on Christmas. 23rd, 20... Oh, my word. Well, look away if you want to call Christmas with run 20. That is a southwesterly, and that is a mild southwesterly. Not a good southwesterly. Southwest is never good, unless it's in summer, but... That is a possible 10-12 degree Christmas Day with that one. Well, this one builds out a high pressure just to our west and over the top of the country on Christmas Day. Then it breaks it through, so it could be quite a cold Christmas there. Cold and frosty, I'd say, possibly. Not exactly anything interesting, though. And then high pressure begins to move towards Scandinavia again at the very end. It's like they're running bounds of like bringing in colder air. There is a colder pool, and we are bringing in a -5 line. So, very end, obviously uncertain and probably unlikely to verify. Run number 22, we're almost done now. Brings in westerlies. Oh, run number 23, bit of a northerly plunge at the start of the run. Could bring some snow in the north and the east, you'd expect with that one. And then around Christmas Day, well, it's very unsettled and quite stormy, especially in the north. Run number 24. Again, another run trying to build a Scandi high around day 10. This could be something to watch out for then. Doesn't build it properly, and the Atlantic's too powerful. But before then, you can just see the cold air is just hanging to our northeast. Doesn't quite get into the country. But it's very close on a knife edge with that one. But it does try and fails. And then the Atlantic comes back through. So this is the big problem with a strong PV, or a stronger than average polar vortex that we've had recently. In fact, it was almost record breaking, I think. It just doesn't allow colder air to sink properly. This one's a bit more interesting, around 24th, with ensemble run 25, with a northwesterly sort of appearing. Then the high pressure begins to move towards Greenland and actually brings down a little bit of a cooler zonality on Christmas Day. Could be a little bit of snow in the north, white Christmas in the north. Then it turns into a northerly briefly on the 26th, Boxing Day, and then the high builds over the country, making it cold and frosty. And then on run 26, there we go. Load. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much to Google, much appreciated. Big Knight Rider and David Hasselhoff fan too. Yeah, I didn't know that. Would be interested to check. Right, let me have a look. Alright, so Westerly again. Ugh. And then 25th December, cold zonality. Winds originating from Iceland, but it's not exactly anything to write home about. Turns mine to a northerly on the Boxing Day, though. Northerly plunge, flare before going back westerly again, you'd expect. Run number 27. Want to load, thank you. Starts off with a high pressure out to the west. Brief northerly snap there. However, over Christmas Day, sits over the top of the country. Looks like it could be a cold and frosty Christmas. However, it could be mild with this high pressure over, just moving over the top of the country. Not great. Then have a look on run number 28. Westerly. Actually builds brief. Actually, Christmas is westerly. Doesn't look great. Run number 29. Not much hope for cold is here. Oh. Brief northwesterly around the 24th. 25th could be a snow event in the north, maybe. In fact, no, because the air is very mild actually over the top of the country. That could be a record-breaking Christmas as well. Well, probably not record-breaking, but quite mild Christmas. Towards the very end brings in that northerly, but it's not great. This one is trying to build heights towards Scandinavia as well. And actually does. Wow. Here we go. Here's another one trying to build a Scandinavian high. Again, look at the heights building towards just to the north of Scandinavia into like just the Nordic regions, but it's too powerful. The Atlantic is way too powerful. So we just bring in more westerlies. Look at all this blocking. Look at where the cold's going, straight into Scandinavia from Western Russia. And we continue the Atlantic onslaught. What could be, and it probably won't happen. I think we'll get snow in January. Well, I'd say I think we'll get snow in January. I think there could be some snow at the end of the month. But that's about it, really. Don't really have much to say about that one. Remember to subscribe. Your name pops up if you do subscribe as well. Just a little bit of an incentive. And get my likes up on the stream. Now, we're going to show you the ECM anomalies. And let's see what they are showing. Then I'll show you the stratospheric PV. My internet is running so slow, it's unbelievable. I don't know what's going on today. I apologise everyone if they have been loading a bit slow. I can't do anything about that, I'm afraid. Probably some sort of issue in the area, I assume. Right, so this one looks quite interesting with the ECM. 16th to the 23rd. Let me see if that's in view. This one could be a little bit better for some of you. So the week one is 16th to the 23rd with high pressure out to the west. It is to the south towards Spain, and low pressure is to the east. Winds are in from a generally west or northwesterly with that one. Temperature anomalies are actually above average because with the 500 milliwatt heights, they are still bringing in kind of a westerly flow over the top of the high. So it's very close, but not quite. Now, what does the Christmas period look like? Oh dear. High pressure just out to the west, and that looks westerly with low pressure to the north. No chance. Or snow chance, I should say. Again, not exactly favourable with warmer than average anomalies. Week 3 then builds the heights out further to the west, a mid-Atlantic ridge. Low pressure towards Scandi, and winds are in from the northwest with that one, you'd expect. And probably going colder than average. Never mind, it is the signal is less, but obviously you're getting further out is lower than average. Lower I should say, the temperature anomalies are lower. Week 4 looks mild, week 5 looks no signal, and week 6, that looks like, with low pressure to the east, that could be a high pressure to the west and bringing up southerly winds for mid-Jan, so that's a write-off. Let's see if there's any difference with these. Wow, I've never seen a chart so barren at week 5, like what is going on there? Week 6, yep. Again, that looks extremely mild. Low pressure to the west, high pressure to the east, and winds are in from the south there with that one. Oh my word. Above average, might as well just say above average, hadn't it? On the chart. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. It's a write-off. Gremlins in the PC. I know, I think that's what it is. Honestly, I think it's breaking down. I've had it for a while, to be fair. I've had it a while, I'll say that much. I've had it for a while. Why has that message just popped up? Nobody subscribed. Now they are. It just, some of the names don't pop up. This one's just popped up. Cheers, if it'll pop up. Cheers, Brendan, for subscribing. Much appreciated. Just seen that one pop up. Yeah, thanks for joining the Send It channel. Send It's Weather channel. Right, let me pull up the more interesting charts. Let's see. So I want to pull up the atmospheric data, and I'll pull up the KMA as well. This is the Korean model. I'm not sure if I've ever shown this on a stream, actually. This is the Korean model, which I actually quite like. It's not fully out yet, but we can go out to day 10. Is that big enough? Let me see. Is that better? Looks better, doesn't it? Let's have a look. So, from the outset, again, very similar for the next few days. Then it brings the unsettled weather around the 18th. This is in French, this website. So the 18th to the 19th, Thursday, turns into a northwesterly briefly. Then sinks low pressure southwards around the 22nd, and that's as far out as we can go. And that looks like the westerlies are just going to continue. So not much of interest there with the Korean model. I don't know. This Christmas hat shouldn't have come out, should it? Well, I was expecting something Christmassy. Late December is the best time, yeah. Let's have a look, actually. I want to bring up the AO forecast. Oops, I cannot spell. AO forecast So, this is the Arctic Oscillation, I'll bring up the NAO. If both are negative, that increases your chance of blocking to the north. And actually, what you will see is something of interest. The AO is actually staying negative, so the next few days, AO, it is staying positive, weekly positive, before it drops away, and there's quite a lot scattered. There's a few milder runs in there, but most of them are actually dropping it quite strongly negative. As you can see, it goes below the average, which is this black line here. There's the average just above it, and it's actually going below, which is a good sign if you want blocking. However, let's have a look at the NAO forecast. This, you need both to be negative to increase chance of blocking. So with the NAO, this is where it all falls apart, because it is actually stronger than average, or positive, I should say. Weekly positive. There are a few runs at the very end going below, and this could all change, but the signs at the outset are not great for if you want colder and blocked weather. Are you ready for Christmas? Can't you see? I've got my Christmas hat on. Of course I'm ready. That's the wrong way. Of course I'm ready for Christmas. What are you talking about? See? I'm ready. I've got the Christmas tree up. No, I don't. Yeah. I'm ready for the big day. Of course I am. I'm always ready for Christmas. I'm always ready for Christmas. What would make you say such a thing? Right, do we have another update on the CFS? No. Right, so, again, stronger than average. NAO signals doesn't look very good. Now, let's have a look at the GFS, and then I'll have to just quickly do this, that one. And then we go, the Northern Hemisphere, and there's 10 HPA strat data for the Northern Hemisphere. Here we go. Well, that's not the right thing. What have I clicked on? Temp. There we go. So this is the stratospheric polar vortex. And I know I can curtain not certain. Nice name, by the way. I know what it. I can just do this, can't I? Yeah. Okay. I'll point taken. Confident that I'm not taken on his naughty list. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Depends if you're on your best behaviour. You're right. Right, so this here, I'll circle it. This here is the PV. This is the polar vortex in the atmosphere. Now, if this splits, breaks apart, weakens, then that takes 2 weeks for a tropospheric response, if it even happens. You need a proper sudden stratospheric warming for this to happen, which is basically where you see these lighter colours here, which are over towards Siberia. You need those to push and actually strengthen and move towards the PV, so the stratospheric PV, to break it apart. Now, as you can see here, the warmer than, well, what do you call it? What do you call them? The milder upper air temperatures, the milder stratospheric temperatures start to increase and actually bring up the temperatures at the in the PV, polar vortex. There's another little warming appearing down here, but it's not a very significant one. It's quite minor warming. But it does weaken, I would say, the polar vortex. As you can see, it is losing its size a little bit. However, the warming is not sustained enough to break the polar vortex. So it will lift up the PV temperature. As you can see, it goes from -80 to -76 at its roots. However, it's not enough to break it down or anything like that. If this warming was stronger and had the red colours, then it could obviously disrupt the PV. But at this stage, that is not being shown. It looks like quite an average polar vortex. But obviously, things could change. Do you call yourself Send It? To be fair, it's just something, a name I've had. And I'll say hello to my mod. I haven't seen him chat before. There he is. I think he's doing a good job. Basically, I got it from years ago, really. When I used to do cat, and I always used to, I don't know. I used to have like a channel which I still own, called Send It 88, and I don't really know where the name came. I think I just came up with it one time, and I just called myself Send It. And I like the phrase Send It, so That's where it is. The 88 came from my kart race number, which I used to have, which was 88. It used to be 23, and then I changed to 88. But that's all behind me now. all the karting stuff. Yeah. 10 HPA, yep, that's it, thank you. Because he likes to just send the information, yeah. That's smart, actually. That's quite smart, but no, that's not the reason. I'm not as intelligent as that to say something like that. Well, I think we've run through all the data, to be honest. I don't really have anything else to show you. So what can we say? And cheers to everyone for watching, and if you did enjoy, obviously, please do like. I see there's a lot of likes on this stream, thank you very much. And a lot of watchers as well. Cheers to all the new and old viewers for watching this stream. I hope you found it informative and interesting. Now, I am sorry that the charts weren't as good as I hoped, and they weren't as good as they were earlier, besides the GFS, which is always fun to look at, I find. Even if it's wrong, I just like looking at the charts a lot of the time. But yeah, that's it really. Hope it made you feel a little bit better with the Christmassy music. I had a little bit of Christmas music in, and my Christmas hat, you know. Gotta get in the Christmas spirit early, because why not, you know? And this will be a thing in my videos. I will be wearing this a lot, and I've seen a few comments about my hat, so cheers for that. But yeah, I hope it was interesting. Sadly, the charts weren't as good as I hoped, but hey, it's the weather, you can't win them all, can you? But yeah, cheers all for watching, and if anyone's got any questions, then feel free to ask away, and I'll respond to any after the stream. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next weather video / stream. Whatever it is.